So, welcome to all students. So, in the last session, we have seen about the basic electromagnetic field concepts, about the different coordinate systems and different vectors, dot product of vectors, cross product of vectors, and the transformation of coordinates and vectors we have seen. And also, we have seen about the gradient, divergence, and curl, basic concept, gradient, divergence, and curl. So, the next one, what will be having as an divergence theorem. Okay, so according to this divergence theorem, what we have it as the integral of divergence of the vector over a volume V is equal to the surface integral of normal component of the vector over the surface bounding its volume. For example, I am having one vector. If I take the divergence of the vector and I am integrating over the volume, that value will be equal to the surface integral of that vector. Okay, for example, I'm having one vector, I'm taking the divergence of that one and I'm taking the volume integral. I'm getting one answer. That answer should be same. What if I get the surface integral of that vector? That's what we call it as the divergence theorem. Okay, that's what they mathematically they have given what we have it as triple integral of divergence f into dv equal to double integral into f vector dot ds. Okay. So the divergence f, what we can represent it as del dot f vector into dv. So triple integral of del dot f into dv is equal to surface integral of f vector dot ds vector. Surface integral of f vector dot ds vector. So this is what we will be seeing in the divergence theorem concept. Okay, well, the path should, so here we will be seeing the problems related with the divergence theorem. So the problem can be asked in any type of system. They can be asked in Cartesian system, cylindrical system, spherical system. For that only the dV and ds formula we have studied in the last session. For dV, what will be the dV formula for cylindrical system? What will be the ds formula for cylindrical system? Similarly for Cartesian system, spherical system. That and all what we have studied as the basics. That basics will be helpful to here. Okay. So you can see a model problem related with the divergence theorem. Here where they have given us a vector equal to xy square ax vector plus y cube ay vector plus y square z az vector. A vector equal to xy square ax vector plus y cube ay vector plus y square z az vector. And the surface is a cuboid defined by 0 less than x less than 1, 0 less than y less than 1, and 0 less than z less than 1. So for this vector, we have to find out, we have to verify divergence theorem. So don't think only f vector. For the analysis, we have taken with the concept, we have taken as f vector. The vector we have to, what we have to take is the problem, what vector they have given, that vector we have to use. So in this problem, they are given as a vector. So what we have to show is, according to divergence theorem, volume integral of del dot A into dV equal to surface integral of A vector dot ds vector. That's what only they are written in this like this. Surface integral of A vector dot ds vector equal to volume integral of del dot A into dV. Volume integral of del dot A into dV. So first I am considering the left hand side. Surface integral of A vector dot ds. I am going to find out the answer for that one. Then separately, I will be finding out answer for volume integral of del dot A into dV. If both the answers were same, then I can show that the above vector follows divergence theorem. Then I can show that above vector follows divergence theorem. So surface integral of A vector dot ds vector can be written as surface integral of A vector dot dsx plus surface integral of A vector dot dsy plus surface integral of A vector dot dsz. So you will be having dsx, dsy, dsz. So three terms that we have. Okay, So depends upon that. I am substituting that coefficients only. So for dsx, what will be the coefficient? Ax. So I am substituting the ax coefficient of a vector. What is ax coefficient? Xy square. So I am substituting xy square. And for dsx, what I am having? Just we have seen in the Cartesian system. dsx, dsy, dsz, the last session. Okay, for dsx, what we will be having? Dy, dz, ax. So in a vector, we have ax vector, and this dsx we have ax vector. Both they will be getting dot product. Both they will be getting dot product. So rest of the thing will be getting 0. So only for a vector dot dsx, xy square dy dz, xy square dx dz. So the limits what I have to substitute is, what is the limit for y? It varies from 0 to 1. Similarly for z, it varies from 0 to 1. That's what I substituted. Now the second part you see, double integral of a vector dot dsy. Double integral of a vector dot dsy. If you take the dot product of a vector and dsy, so what is dsy? Dx dz ay. Dx dz ay. If you take the dot product along with the a value, a vector, what will be getting? Y cube dx dz. What will be getting it as y cube dx dz. Then you see the third part. Third part is double integral of a vector dot dsz. So in that a vector and dsz, we have to take the dot product, where you will be having it as y square z into dx dy. Y square z into dx dy. So az dot az will be 1. Az dot az will be 1 there. So if you take the values, we will be getting the form of the equations. So in that equation, we have to substitute the x, y, and z value. So if you solve the integrals, you will be getting in terms of x, y, and z. So for that, what we have to substitute is, we have to substitute x value as 1, y value as 1, z value as 1. You don't want to consider the lower limit, because the lower limit, it will be becoming as 0 only. Okay, so for example, what you will be getting it as, for first part, what you will be getting it as x cube by 3. First part you will be getting it as x cube by 3. Then second part you will be getting it as y cube. And third part, what you will be getting it as z cube by 3. Okay, and third part, what you will be getting it as, sorry, first part, what you will be getting it as x by 3, not x cube by 3, x by 3. Sorry for that one. First part, what you will be getting it as x by 3. And second part, what you will be getting it as y cube. And third part, what you will be getting it as z by 3. Then finally, we have to apply the, for x, y, and z, we have to apply 1, and for minus of 0. So we will be getting it as 1 by 3 plus 1 plus 1 by 3. So what will be having it as 5 by 3. So the surface integral of a dot d vector a ds, what will be having it as 5 by 3. Okay, the same answer you should get if I do the volume integral of the divergence of that vector. That's what I am going to check now. Okay, so you see there, volume integral of del dot a into dv equal to question mark. Okay, del dot a means divergence of the vector. I am going for a vector. I am seeing what type of vector it is. It is Cartesian vector. You can see there ax, ay, az. You can see there a vector equal to ax, ay, az. So what type of vector it is? Cartesian vector. So for that, I am assuming the, what is the del dot a value? It will be dou by dou x into ax plus dou by dou y into ay plus dou by dou z into az. So what is that capital Ax? Coefficient of Ax, xy square. You can see that del dot A equal to dou by dou x into xy square. That is coefficient of Ax. Plus dou by dou y into y cube. Plus dou by dou z into y square z. Okay, so if I differentiate, what you will be getting? I am getting that 5y square. So that del dot A value, I have to substitute the triple integral of 5y square. What is dv? In Cartesian system, dx, dy, dz. This dv is dx, dy, dz. So that's what I'm substituting there. And if we take the triple integral, I will be getting the value of 5 by 3. Now I can show that both the vectors are, the vector follows the divergence theorem. Vector follows the divergence theorem. Okay, so so that we can prove about the divergence theorem. The next one you can go for the Stokes theorem. Okay, so in Stokes theorem, what they will say is a line integral of the vector around the closed path is equal to the integral of normal component of its curl over any surface bounded by the contour. So I am having one vector. Okay, for that, I am taking the line integral over the closed path. Okay, that value should be equal to the surface integral of that vector. Surface integral of the curl of the vector, not surface integral of the vector, surface integral of the curl of the vector. So closed integral of f dot dl equal to double integral of del cross f into ds. Closed integral of f dot dl equal to surface integral of del cross f into ds. This is what you will be having for Stokes theorem. Okay, line integral of the vector over the closed path is equal to the integral of normal component of its curl over any surface bounded by the contour. Bounded by the contour. What will be having that one? Closed integral of f dot dl equal to double integral of del cross f into ds. Okay, for the important part of the Stokes theorem is the path should be the closed one. The path should be the closed one. So we cannot apply Stokes theorem to the open path. We can apply Stokes theorem only to the closed path. A very important concept we should know. We can apply Stokes theorem only to the closed path. So this is a model problem relating with this Stokes theorem here. They are given a vector equal to rho cos phi a rho plus sin phi a phi. A vector equal to rho cos phi a rho plus sin phi a phi. The below diagram they have given that what is the rho value and the phi value, all these things they have given. What we have to find out is we have to find out closed integral of a dot dl, and we have to confirm the result using Stokes theorem. So we want to find out closed integral of a dot dl. You will be getting one answer, have as it is. Then what is the statement they have given? Confirm the answer using Stokes theorem. That means we have to take the surface integral of del cross A into ds. Surface integral of del cross A into ds. That answer should also be same. So for instance, you see this one. So this we have to prove. Using Stokes theorem, closed integral of A dot dl equal to surface integral of del cross A into ds. So first we have to find out closed integral of A dot dl. Then later on we have to find out del cross A into ds, surface integral of del cross A into ds. And both the things are same, we should prove. You should prove both the things are same later on. So now for that only they have given that one, the closed path ABCD, the graph you can see there. The closed path ABCD. So A and B varies from 2 to 2, where C and D varies from 5 to 5. At A and D, the angle you see there 60 degree. At B and C, you see there the angle is 30 degree. Angle is 30 degree. Okay, and here 2 to 2 means it represents the radius, rho value. It represents the radius, rho value. And 60 degree and 30 degree represents phi angle. It represents the phi value. Okay, so problem relates with the cylindrical coordinate system. You see there a rho vector, a phi vector. The problem what they are given as a vector equal to a rho vector, a phi vector. So it corresponds to the cylindrical coordinate system. So first I have to find out closed integral of a dot dl. First I have to find out closed integral of a dot dl. That closed integral of a dot dl equal to the addition of four parts. A to b a dot dl plus b to c a dot dl plus c to d a dot dl plus d to a dot dl. The closed path we can see. Line integral is the addition of all the 4 line integrals, a to b, b to c, c to d, d to e. Okay, so I want to separately find out the line integrals of each path. Then I have to finally add. Then I have to finally add that. So that's what they have done here. So along AB. So along AB, which one is constant? Radius is constant. That is rho is constant. At A also rho equal to 2. At B also rho equal to 2. So rho equal to 2 we can take. Okay, and above we are given the standard equation of DL. Above we have represent the standard equation of DL. So DL equal to d rho a rho. So what I have seen in the last sessions, a very important thing, what I have told. This and all is very useful in the divergence theorem and Stokes theorem. So DL equal to d rho a rho plus rho d phi a phi plus dz a z. Okay, DL equal to d rho a rho plus rho d phi a phi plus dz a z. So d rho a rho plus rho d phi a phi plus dz a z. What will be having there? Okay, so I want to substitute here. What will be having rho is constant. So I don't want to substitute d rho a rho. And dz az will also become 0 here because there is no z term here. So only which term is varying? Angle is varying. So rho d phi a phi. That's what they are written here. DL equal to rho d phi a phi. So above equation will become as integral a to b a dot dl equal to integral rho sin phi d phi. Rho sin phi d phi. Rho sin phi d phi. Okay, because a phi we have sin phi, here rho d phi for dl. So it will become as rho sin phi d phi. The angle you see here at A, what is the angle? 60 degree. At B, what is the angle? 30 degree. So we have to substitute that one and we can do with the value of A to B, A dot dl. And later on, we can similarly, we have to go for B to C. So when you travel from B to C, the graph is very important. When you travel from B to C, what is the thing you will be having? Angle is 30 degree. But at B, radius is 2. But at C, radius is 5. So what happens here? The angle is getting varied. Sorry, the radius is getting varied. Rho is varying 2 to 5. But angle is constant, 30 degree. So you will be getting only d rho parameter. D rho means approximately a rho, what we will be having? Rho cos phi. So that value you are substituting. Similarly, we have to go for C to D and D to A. Then if you add all these 4, you will be getting closed interval of A dot dl equal to 4.941. Closed interval of A dot dl equal to what you are getting it as 4.941. Okay, the same answer you should get it on the right hand side. The same answer you should get it on the right hand side. So that you can check it now. Surface integral of del cross A into ds. Surface integral of del cross A into ds. We have to prove that one. That means we have to take the curl of the vector first. We have to take the curl of the vector. Then we have to do the integration. So del cross A, we are seeing the vector is the cylindrical system. For cylindrical system, what is the del cross A formula that we are seeing there? 1 by rho, rho A phi, dou by dou rho, dou by dou phi, dou by dou z. So A rho A phi. The coefficients we have to substitute there. Then if you substitute, you will be getting del cross A value of 1 plus rho sin phi by rho into Az. So in del cross A, we have Az vector. If I want to continue, what type of ds I have to substitute? To continue the equation, I have to substitute dsz. Because del cross A, what I am getting it as As vector. Similarly, for the dsz, I have to substitute. So ds is equal to d rho d phi Az. We have substituted that the surface integral of del cross A into ds. So if you substitute it there, you will be getting the value of del cross A into ds. The limit you can see the radius varies from 2 to 5. and angle varies from 30 to 60. That we have to take angle varies from 30 to 60. Then if I apply that concept here, you will be getting 4.94. The same answer as that of the previous one. For A.EL, what is the answer? You are getting 4.941. The same answer we are getting here, 4.941 here. So we can show that it follows the above vector follows the Stokes theorem. Above vector follows the Stokes theorem. We can say that one. The next one you will be having with Coulomb's law. The next what we will be having as the Coulomb's law. According to Coulomb's law, what we will be having? The force between 2 point charges is proportional to their product of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So force is directly proportional to product of the charges Q1, Q2 and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them, that is R square. So to have a constant, we are substituting K. K is called as a proportionality constant or constant of proportionality, and K is equal to what we will be having? 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Epsilon is called permittivity of the medium or dielectric constant. Other name of epsilon, what we call it as dielectric constant. Permittivity of the medium or dielectric constant epsilon. And epsilon as the formula of epsilon naught epsilon r. Epsilon as it's a product of epsilon naught and epsilon r. Epsilon naught, what we have it as absolute permittivity, whereas epsilon r is called as relative permittivity. So epsilon naught is constant, 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. But what we will have for epsilon naught value, whereas epsilon r value, it will be varying and its value depends upon the medium used. Value depends upon the medium used. So for R medium, what will be having? Epsilon r equal to 1. For R medium, you will be getting epsilon r equal to 1 there. So this is the thing what you will be having. So what you can write? The force formula Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. 4 pi epsilon into r square. That is the Coulomb's law basic formula. Unit of force is Newton. Unit of force is Newton. Okay. So in vector form, if I want to represent in vector form, so far what we have seen is a normal form. F equal to K into Q1 Q2 divided by R square. That R is the distance straight away they are given. So instead of distance, if the distance point they are given in points, the distance if they are given in points, I have to find out the force in the vector form. For that, what will be the formula? So this one will be the formula there. F equal to K Q1 Q2 divided by R21 square. The 2 are 2 points. We will be having to R21 vector divided by modulus of R1 minus R2. That means we have to put the unit vector. What is unit vector? A vector divided by modulus of that vector. At R1 minus R2. Or we can represent it at R2 minus R divided by modulus of that R2 minus R1. R2 minus R1 divided by modulus of R2 minus R1. And for vector to be linear, F equal to minus F1. That we have to show the Coulomb's law to be linear. F2 must be equal to minus F1. Then electric field. What is that electric field? Force per charge. Force per charge is nothing but the electric field. Okay, force per unit charge, what we represent as an electric field, and it's also defined as a region where the forces will act. So in electric field, what will be having it as only one Q. If you divide the electric field, if you divide the force by any one charge, you'll be getting electric field. For force, what we have got? Q Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. That divided by Q, we put one Q will be getting cancelled. So for electric field, you will be getting with only one Q. Sorry. So electric field equal to Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon r square into that AR vector is the unit vector. AR vector is the unit vector. We have to substitute unit of electric field is volt per meter. Unit of electric field is volt per meter. The next one, what will be having as a principle of superposition of charges. Okay. So if we have more point charges, that what we call it as point charges here, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5 are the point charges. Otherwise, what we call it as a principle of superposition, this one. If you have more point charges near you, what is the electric field at you? Assume in front of you, you have more point charges. Front of you, you have more point charges. Okay, so because of the charges, what is the electric field on you? That's what given by this concept. So here what analyzed is they have different point charges spread with the different distance. What is the electric field at the point P? So what calculating, and it will be given formula field equal by not equal to 1 to n qi divided by ri square into unit vector. We have to substitute ari. Into unit vector, we have to substitute ari, where ari will be rp vector minus ri divided by rp vector modulus of rp vector minus ri vector. That you see that one by one here. You can see that one. So problem related one. We have to find out Coulomb's law. The problems related with Coulomb's law. Find the force on a charge Q1 of 20 microcoulomb at 0, 1, 2 meter due to Q2 of 300 microcoulomb at 2, 0, 0 at 2, 0, 0 meter. So we have to find out the force here. We have to find out the force. Okay. So force one charge due to another charge. We have to represent Coulomb's law. Okay. If they are given as a distance of 5 meter, the simple formula only Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. But here you can see that one, they are given in terms of points. The distance they are not given straight away. They are given in terms of points here. So what we have to substitute? So force equal to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r12 square into unit vector ar12 into unit vector ar12 into unit vector ar12. So ar12 equal to r12 divided by modulus of r1. ar12 equal to r12 divided by modulus of r12. So we have to find out the distance. That's what they have done here. Okay, that 0 minus 2. For what charge we have to find out the force, that we have to take the first point. 0 minus 2 ax plus 1 minus 0 ay plus 1 minus 0 ay vector. That's what they are substituting that you will be getting that r12 vector minus 2ax plus ay plus az. Then you have to take the modulus. Modulus means root of the 2.45. How it comes is we have to take the modulus part. The modulus means root of minus 2 square plus 1 square plus 1 square. Minus 2 square plus 1 square plus 1 square. That's a root of minus 2 square. So minus 2 square plus 1 square plus 1 square, the whole root. We have to put the whole root. What will be getting it as R12 as 2.45. Force formula already you know. 20 10 power minus 6 300 into that Q1 Q2 value, you know that one. Then 4 pi 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 R12 2.545 square. That's what you will be having with force there. So that force formula we have it as 0.89. Force formula what we will be having it as 0.89. Okay, so this how we have to solve with. So how we are getting that 0.89? We have to take the modulus for the f from the above equation. See the f we are getting in vector form now, minus 0.733 ax plus 0.366 ay plus 0.366 az Newton. For that, what we have to take is we have to take the modulus. How it will be taking the modulus? First, we will be squaring individually. Minus 0.733 whole square plus 0.366 whole square plus 0.36 whole square, then whole root. If you do, you will be getting 0.89 Newton. You will be getting 0.89 Newton. The next one, what will be having it as? We have to determine the electric field intensity. Point of P minus 0.2, 0, minus 2.3 meter due to a point charge of 5 nanocoulomb at Q of 0.2, 0.1, minus 2.5 meter in air medium. This problem relates with electric field intensity. Problem relates with electric field intensity. So what is the electric field intensity? You will be having E equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR vector by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR vector. AR vector is what? R vector divided by modulus of R vector. R vector divided by modulus of R vector is nothing but AR vector. R vector equal to P minus Q. AR vector equal to R vector divided by modulus of R vector. R vector equal to P vector minus Q vector. P vector minus Q vector. So P vector is minus of 0.2 minus 0.2 AX plus 0 minus 0.1 AY plus minus 2.3 plus 2.5 AZ. Minus 2.3 plus 2.5 AZ. So the R vector equal to minus 0.4 AX minus 0.1 AY plus 0.2 AZ. Modulus of R vector we have to take. That's what I told you. Modulus of R vector equal to minus 0 root of minus 0.4 square plus 0.1 square plus 0.2 square. That what you will be getting as modulus of R vector. The electric field you see here, Q value divided by 4 pi into 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 into R square. 0.458 whole square into the R vector divided by modulus of R vector. If you substitute it here, you will be getting the electric field. So we have to find out. Then you also can find out in normalized form. If you take the modulus of this E vector, you will be getting normal E value. That also you can do it. That also you can do it. And this problem, this one what we have seen in the last, and this one relates with the point charges. Okay, so what's the formula just now we have seen? Electric field due to point charges. Electric field due to point charges. E equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon summation of I equal to 1 to n Qi by Ri whole square into Ari vector. That's what you will be having now. For that only you will be taking the point charges. So related, this problem related with that formula only. Consider a square of side 5 centimeter. Your diagram for your analysis we have drawn. The question that they will have in this like that. Consider a square of side 5 centimeter. 3 positive charges 100 nanocoulomb each are located at the 3 corners of the square. We have to find the electric field intensity at the 4th corner. If you want to find out the electric field intensity at the 4th corner, what will be the electric field? We have to find out that. So that's what they are represented in the square format here. That 0.1, 2, 3. So we have to find out the electric field at 0, 0, 0. 0.1, it will be located at 5 centimeter. That means 0.05 meter. That's what they represented 0.05, 0, 0. 0.3 also on the y-axis, it will be represented as 0, 0.5, 0. 0.2 you see here, it will be x-axis. From x-axis, it will be 0.05. From y-axis also, it will be 0.05. From z-axis, it will be 0. So it will be having as 0 here. So total electric field will be the addition of individual electric fields. That means electric field due to 1, electric field due to 0.2, electric field due to 0.3. That's what they are substituted here. So E equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R1 square into AR1 plus Q divided by, since the charge is constant at all the points, they are represented as simply as Q, not Q1, Q2 like that. 100 nanocoulomb is constant here. So Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R2 square into AR2 plus Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R3 square into R3 square into AR3. You want to find out AR1 modulus of R1 vector divided by modulus of R1. Similarly, AR2, similarly, AR3. R2 vector divided by modulus of R2 vector. That's what they have done here. So R1 modulus of R1 vector, R2 modulus of R2 vector, similarly AR3, R3 modulus of R3 vector. All this thing, so constant term is Q by 4 pi epsilon that you can take outside, then other things we have to substitute inside. If we substitute, you will be getting that electric field as minus 486.6 AX minus 486.6 AY kV per meter. What is 688 is we have to take the modulus of that vector. That above we have got no minus 486.6 AX minus 486.6 AY. Okay, so we have to square. We have to square. So like this problem, what we have done here. So the last problem, what we have done here. So we have to square this. We have to take this root and square. No, like this we have to do it here. So root of minus 0.486.6 square plus minus 0.486.6 whole square. So if you substitute that one, you will be getting the normalized value. So 688.15. So this is due to electric field due to point charges. Now you will be seeing electric field due to continuous charges. You go for electric field due to continuous charges, we have three charges normally. What will be having as line charge density, surface charge density, volume charge density. So before going for the continuous charges, we have to see about these three charges, charge densities. What is that line charge density? Normally, charge density, current density means you will be saying it as current per area. Current density mostly what we will be saying current per area. Similarly, charge density means charge per area. Surface density means surface per area. That's what we will see in that one. Here we have three specific densities. Is line charge density, surface charge density, and volume charge density. Line charge density is nothing but it is a ratio of charge per length. Unit is coulomb per meter. Surface charge density is charge per surface. Charge per surface. Unit is coulomb per meter square. Unit is what will be having as coulomb per meter square. And third one, what will be having as volume charge density. So for volume charge density, the thing what will be having as charge per volume. Charge per volume. Volume charge density, what will be having as charge per volume. Coulomb per meter cube. Coulomb per meter cube. What will be having that? Okay. So now we are going to see about what is the electric field due to circularly charge distributed uniformly on an infinite and finite plane. So derivative concept, straight away we can go for the concept here. You can see that one line charge. That means you assume a pencil or pen which is fully charged. It is fully charged. There charges will be flowing continuously. There what happens? Charges will be flowing continuously. So because of that, what will be the electric field on you? You're near a pencil or pen which is having charge density of rho L. Because of that, what is the electric field on you? So you are the point P. Just you assume you are the point P then. Okay, because of the electric field, what is the charge density? We are having the line charge density. So what is the electric field on you? That's what we are going to see now. We will be having two components here, vertical component and horizontal component. So first they will be seeing with the finite line and they will be applying the special formula for that finite line. They will be saying it as infinite case. So for finite line, you will be having two component Ex and Ey. For Ex, you will be getting it as rho L by 4 pi epsilon h cos of alpha 1 plus cos of alpha 2 volt per meter. And for Ey, you will be getting in terms of sin alpha 2 minus sin alpha 1. Rho L by 4 pi epsilon h sin alpha 2 minus sin alpha 1 volt per meter. Volt per meter. Okay, now what happens is they will be going for the special case. The line is at the perpendicular bisector. If you see here, the line is at the perpendicular bisector, that is at the center point. If it is at the center point, what happens is you will be getting EY value as 0. Value as 0. Alpha 1 and alpha 2 will become 0. So EY component will become 0 and EX component will be rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon h cos alpha. So if you substitute 0 here, what happens? Sin 0 minus 0, 0. If you substitute 0 here, cos alpha 1 is 0, cos of 0 plus cos of 0. Cos 0 is 1. So 1 plus 1 you will be getting 2. The denominator we have 4. The 2 by 4 you will be getting 1 by 2. So we will be getting x equal to rho L by 2 pi epsilon h cos alpha. Similarly, if the conductor is infinitely long, the conductor is infinitely long. Conductor is infinitely long. That's what we are having here. Ex equal to rho L by 2 pi epsilon h, and Ey will become 0 then. So that first case we will be having that alpha 1 plus alpha that 1 that alpha 1 plus alpha 2 equal to alpha, not 0 there. The case 1, it's not printing mistake, we have that one. Alpha 1 equal to alpha 2 equal to alpha, not 0 there. Only for a infinitely long, you will be getting alpha equal to 0. For a perpendicular bisector, both the alpha 1 and alpha 2 will be having same alpha. So here what happens? Sin alpha minus sin alpha, it will be 0. Cos alpha plus cos alpha, 2 cos alpha, that only will come as 1 by 2. That we are getting perpendicular bisector Ex equal to rho L by 2 pi epsilon h cos alpha. Only for infinitely long conductor, you will be considering alpha equal to 0. Okay. So Ex component equal to rho L by 2 pi epsilon h and Ey equal to 0. Similarly for this and for the circular conductor. So this one so far we have seen on. So once again it has been repeated. So you can see that rho L, I say the red color we have represented the rho L no. So that rho L is nothing but the charge density on that line. Charge density on that line. So that line is having length L and it is having the charge density of rho L. Because of that, what is the electric field at this point? That's one we have seen the formulas and the concepts now. We have seen the concept now. Later on, we'll be seeing with this model problem. Model problem relates with a concept what we have seen now. So infinitely long conductor with rho L charge density of 20 nanocoulomb per meter, 20 microcoulomb per meter lies along z axis. We have to find out the electric field at 6,8,3. We have to find out the electric field at 6,8,3. Okay, they are given one point and we have to choose the another point. Okay, so electric field, what is the formula? So in your mind, it should not come it as q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. So that relates with the point charge. But here we are seeing the line charge. So for line charge, what is the electric field formula? Just now we have seen rho L by 2 pi epsilon h. Ex equal to rho L by 2 pi epsilon h. Okay, so that h only they are represented here as r vector. And since it is given in point, we have to find out AR vector, unit vector also, AR. We have to find out the AR, unit vector. So E equal to rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon naught r vector into AR vector. Okay, so that AR vector is nothing but r vector divided by modulus of r vector. For that we need 2 points. One point we have 6,8,3. What will be the other point? That's only I represented the note there. So the coordinates for line charges. What will be having as 0, 0, 3. Why I have substituted 3 here is, you see the statement, line charge is lying along Z axis. So if the line charge is lying along Z axis, at that point you don't have electric field. At that point you will not be having electric field. So in electric field, what they are given at 6, 8, 3, that Z value will be 3 here. So that 3 value I have to substitute here 3. So that the electric field on Z component will be getting 0. Okay, so E is 6, 8, 3 there. The coordinates what we have to choose for line charge is 0, 0, 3. Why I am choosing 3 there? Since the point is lying along Z axis, electric field will not lie along the Z axis. So in the question they are given as E at 6, 8, 3. That 3 I have to make it as 0. For that, I have taken the chosen the point as 0, 0, 3. If the point they are given lies along X axis, then what is the coordinate for line charge I have to take? 6, 0, 0. Okay, so I always have this concept for whenever you have that line charge, at that point you don't have the electric field. At that point you don't have the electric field. Okay, so they are given as R vector equal to 6 minus 0 AX plus 8 minus 0 AY plus actually it will be getting it as 3 minus 3 minus 3 AZ. The 3 minus 3 will be 0, so AZ will come 0 here. So R vector equal to 6 AX plus 8 AY. So root of modulus what you will be taking? Root of 6 square plus 8 square, that modulus of R vector equal to 100. So now we have to find out the electric field. Your rho L by 2 pi epsilon R into AR vector. So what is rho L? Rho L value is 20 microcoulomb. So 20 into 10 power minus 6 divided by 2 pi epsilon naught 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. R value is 10. That modulus of R value, then vector by modulus of that vector. If you substitute, you will be getting the electric field. And the normal electric field also we can put if you take the modulus. So this is about the electric field due to infinitely long conductor. Electric field due to infinitely long conductor. And the next one, what you can see for electric field on the axis of circularly uniform charged disk. So assume the CD, circular disk, the compact disk, what you will be having there. So what is the value of electric field if you are having CD, with you? What is the effect of what is the electric field on you if you have CD with you, which is near you? Okay, you are having the CD which is near to you. So what is the value of electric field because of the CD what you have there? Okay, so that you will be seeing with the concept of circularly charged disk. So that's what we are saying here. You can see the diagram here. So it is having the circularly charged disk as the concept of rho s. It is having the surface of rho s. Okay, surface charge density of rho s. So what will be the electric field at the point P? What will be the electric field at the point P because of this circularly charged disk? So that's what is given by this formula, is a concept here. E equal to rho s by 2 epsilon into 1 minus h divided by root of h square plus r square. Okay, so what is that h? It is a distance between the point and circular disk. You can see in the diagram. H between the point and the circular disk. So between the point and the circular disk center, what we will be having it as the h, and capital R is the radius. Capital R is the radius of the disk. Capital R, what will be having it as the radius of the disk. So that's what we have applied here. So actually that h by root of h square plus r square will be resembles to cos alpha. Will be resembles to cos alpha. So E will be rho s by 2 epsilon into 1 minus cos alpha. So otherwise you can have it as E equal to rho s by 2 epsilon into 1 minus h by root of h square plus r square. So if r equal to infinity, if the radius is 0, what happens? If radius is 0, infinity, what happens? H by infinity will be 0. So E equal to rho S by 2 epsilon. So this case, we can go for infinite sheet of current. Infinite sheet of current concept there. So you can see a model problem here. So you're considering a circular disc of 10 centimeter diameter, which is charged uniformly with a total charge of 10 power minus 6 coulomb. We have to find the electric field at the point 10 centimeter away from the disc along the axis. Okay, so disc 10 centimeter diameter, so radius what you will be having 5 centimeter. So this kind of problem, definitely they will be asking gate questions. Very simple formulas we have to use. Okay, so where distance is 5 centimeter and height you see here 10 centimeter. Height you see here 10 centimeter. Okay, and they have given charge value. We have to find out electric field at centimeter away. So what is the formula? Rho S by 2 epsilon into root of 1 minus h by root of h square plus r square. 1 minus h by root of h square plus r square. Rho S value they have not straight away given. Rho S value they have not straight away given. They have given only Q value. So from Q value, how you can find out rho S? You see the top here. Rho S equal to Q by ds. Charge per area. Charge density equal to charge per area. So area of the circle pi r square. Area of the circle what will be having as pi r square. So r value they are given. So we can find charge also they are given. We can find out rho s. You can find out rho s. Then if you have to substitute that rho s value here and epsilon value also 8.854 into 10 power minus 12. So that electric field you can apply here. Okay, so you will be getting in terms of 79.61 kilovolt per meter. So this is about the electric field intensity. Electric field intensity. And for infinite sheet of charge, what will be getting test? It is a special case of a circularly charged disk. It is a special case of circularly charged disk where we have to apply E equal to where we have to apply alpha equal to 0. That is alpha equal to 90 degree. So cos 90 it will be 0. Or you can take that radius equal to infinity. Anything you can take. If it consider radius of the circle is infinity, then you will be getting E equal to rho s by 2 epsilon. So this is the electric field due to infinite sheet of charge. Electric field due to infinite sheet of charge. Okay, then electric flux density. So far we have seen about that electric field intensity and all these concepts. So what is electric flux density? Simply we can say it as electric flux density is electric field intensity. Electric flux per area. Electric flux density is nothing but electric flux per surface area. Okay, so it is a scalar field what you will be having. So electric field flux per unit area, it is a vector field and its unit is coulomb per meter square. There is the electric flux is the scalar field and electric flux density is the vector field. Electric flux is a scalar field and electric flux density is a scalar vector field. Okay, electric flux density equal to electric flux per area. So the other name for electric flux density is displacement density or displacement flux density. Displacement flux density. Okay, so we know that for sphere surface flux per 4 pi r square will be having from Faraday's experiment. We can say that total number of flux equal to total number of charges. So instead of flux, I am substituting Q. So what will be having there? So D equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon. For electric field, what you are having? E equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon r square. Then epsilon, if you bring to the left hand side, epsilon E equal to Q by 4 pi r square. So I can write D equal to epsilon E because D equal to Q by 4 pi r square and epsilon is E is also Q by 4 pi r square. So I can write flux density is the product of permittivity and electric field intensity. A very important formula where we can relate electric flux density and electric field intensity. Electric flux density and electric field intensity are related by this formula. D equal to epsilon E. D equal to what you will be having? Epsilon E. Okay, so flux density equal to field intensity into permittivity of the medium. So unit of flux density is coulomb per meter square. Unit of flux density, what will be having as coulomb per meter square. Then about Gauss law, the basic Gauss law, you know about that one. So the total electric flux passing through the closed surface should be equal to the enclosed by the charge. Net surface enclosed by the charge. This is what you will be having with the Gauss law. Okay, so for Gauss law, what is the important concept? We have to see that one. Special Gaussian surface. Special Gaussian surface. The surface should be the closed one. How should be the surface? The surface should be the closed one. Very, very important concept. Surface should be the closed one. And each point of the surface, D is either normal to the surface or tangential to the surface. And mostly D is constant over the part of surface where D is normal. So these are the surface should be the very close one for Gauss law. And some of the applications of Gauss law is we can find out these things what we can have there. So we can find out electric field. So these are some of the applications of Gauss law. Okay, we can find out electric field due to infinite line charge. We can find out electric field due to coaxial cable. We can find out electric field due to single shell of charge. We can find out electric field due to concentric shell of charges. Okay, so these are all the some of the applications of Gauss law. And charge is nothing but the surface integral of surface charge density. The flux density, surface integral of flux density is nothing but charge. So that and all they will be asking you in GATE. That you can prove by Gauss law. You can have this one here. So we have shown this one here. Total flux passing through the sphere. So x equal to what you will be having? That's I equal to closed interval of d dot ds. By Gauss law, what you can write? I equal to q. So the surface integral of electric flux density is nothing but charge. So this and all they will be asking you in 1 mark. So definitely see about that things. Okay, so in today's class we have seen about the electric field, basic electric field concepts and their line charges and continuous charges. So in the next sessions we move on to the potential and about the dielectrics, electric field in dielectrics and all polarization and all these concepts, boundary conditions. Okay, Appa. So thank you for attending this session. Thank you.